What if the secret to belonging isn't becoming like everyone else, but being more authentically yourself? Or that the bridges that we so need in this divided world are not built by conforming, but by celebrating what makes us different. It's 1986. I'm in South Korea, sitting at the back of an auditorium, listening to a remarkable performance. I am completely mesmerized by this epic story being conveyed by a solo singer and a drum accompaniment. I've been a musician all of my life, but I have never heard nor experienced something like this. I creep to the front of the auditorium so that I can be closer to the performer, so that I can better grasp her story singing as she expresses the entire gamut of human emotion. I feel the depths of her anguish contrasted with the elation of her joy. This music, this experience moves me so much that I dedicate my life to the study of Korean music and culture. And by focusing on this genre, known as pansori, I learned the truth about personal authenticity from a most unlikely teacher, a 300-year-old Korean woman who never actually existed, a fictional character, yet one who's immortalized in song and dance, even ballet, opera, graphic novels, and webtoons. Her name is Chunyang, and she changes what I think I know about belonging. As I tell you her story, as well as a part of my own, keep in mind these questions. Have you ever felt like an outsider, thinking perhaps you just don't quite belong, and that somehow your differences are weaknesses or barriers? I imagine to some extent all of us have felt this to some extent. But today, I challenge that assumption, because what I learned from Chunyang and spending the last 25 years as a foreign professor, studying and teaching about Korean culture and Korean music in Korea, is that our authentic differences are not roadblocks to bypass or impediments to overcome. They are bridges waiting to be built. And your authentic differences, with all of its quirks and imperfections, isn't just a means to belonging. It's exactly what the world needs to build bridges of connections. My own differences and unique qualities have served as both obstacles and openings. As one of the relatively few foreigners in South Korea in the 1980s and 90s, my journey into the world of Korean academia, Korean music, was not always smooth nor easy. In 1999, while conducting my dissertation research, I planned to attend a conference that is entitled Korean versus foreign perspectives on pansori. As one of only a handful of foreign participants, I plead with the organizers to change the name of the conference to something more inclusive, but to no avail. And yet that one word, versus, confirms what I've been feeling for some time. I am not one of them. And as I feel judged by others, I begin to question myself. Why should I be accepted as a scholar of Korean music? I am a white American woman, clearly an outsider. And I'm only beginning to delve into the history, the language, and the musical aspects of pansori, whereas Koreans have been studying this extensively for decades, years. And so I think perhaps I do not belong in this academic circle. But then I remember the story of the title character of my favorite pansori tale, the Song of Chunyang. And I realized that she too knew something about rejection, about isolation, and about questioning her place in society. Born in the 18th century, Chunyang is born to a kisang, an entertaining woman, and thus is relegated to the lowest social class in Korean society. She has few rights, no opportunity at a formal education or change of occupation. And yet, at the young age of 15, Chunyang is an intelligent young woman of many talents. Although humble and demure, she's also a little bit sassy, which I really like and aspire to myself. And yet, she's also scorned by her peers and even her own mother at times for trying to rise above her designated station in life. One beautiful fine spring day, Chunyang is at a festival and catches the eye of a young nobleman, the governor's son, who is venerated with the title Master E. Thus we see the distinction between their classes. But he instantly falls for her and commands that his servant go and fetch her, bring her to him. But she coyly refuses. When Chunyang and Master E do finally meet, they fall deeply in love. This is a love story, after all. And they are united in a private wedding ceremony. But soon, Chunyang is deserted, left all alone, when Master E must move with his family far away. A new governor comes to town, and he's quite lascivious, and he commands that Chunyang become his concubine. But again, she refuses. She denies him. She refuses to be seen as a slave or a servant, but rather as a woman worthy of dignity and respect. Today, we still see Chunyang through all sorts of memorials and monuments built to her. There's an annual festival and an entire amusement park dedicated to her, as well as, somewhat ironically, a very real funeral mound where offerings are made to this fictional character. Because Chunyang, her story, it's not just a fanciful fairy tale. It is a social movement. Chunyang has built bridges that span space, time, class, and gender. So how do you transform your authentic differences into bridges of connections as Chunyang did? Well, perhaps in a way that's similar to an experience that I had. My vocal teacher and dear friend, Iju-un, whom you heard singing at the beginning of my talk, she has been studying pansori since she was a very young child, and today is designated by the government as a master singer. And yet recently she asked me, the foreigner, to help her with her dissertation research about pansori. In this moment, I feel validated. I know that it isn't Korean versus foreign perspectives, but Korean and foreign perspectives on pansori. Because what I learned from Chunyang and Lee-Jun is this. I may never understand certain aspects of pansori in the same way that Koreans can and do, but as an outsider, I bring fresh perspectives, a new lens with which to see this genre and broader Korean culture as a whole. And I have been readily accepted as myself by the Korean academic and music world, for which I am most grateful. So as you search for your perfect place in this world, I would ask you to remember this simple idea that just as Chunyang did, you build bridges across all types of differences. Because like Chunyang, yours and mine is a story of love. It is a love of learning, a love of our authentic selves, an acknowledgement that we are all worthy of being loved, and a willingness to love others as we are. And if you're lucky, maybe a love of pansori too. Come someday.